I have no notifications. I wonder what my friends are doing. Why is no one texting me? Do I even have any friends? It might be difficult waking up to no new notifications on your phone except from your parent. Love you, Mom. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I tend to overthink, and one of the things that I think a lot about is the relationships I have with people in my life, specifically my friends. Today I want to talk about why building relationships is really important and why it might be a good idea for you to think more about who in your life is a real friend. A common question that I've gotten asked before is, what is your biggest fear in life? And for me, the answer has always been growing older and older with no real friends. I constantly worry that the relationships in my life are only surface level, that they don't have the depth and deep connections that I look for, and ultimately that they'll fade away as time goes on. Now, that sounds really negative, but if you know me in real life, you'll know that I tend to be very observant with my relationships with people, and maybe you're the same way too if you're watching this video. Hopefully you don't think I'm a bit crazy for thinking like this, and maybe to a degree, I am romanticizing friendship a bit too much. It ain't that deep, bro. But quality friends has always been really valuable to me in my life. These are the people that will be your biggest supporters, the ones that you go to for emotional support whenever you need to vent, and these are the ones in your life that will bring you happiness, especially when you're at your lowest point. I think friendships at the end of the day are really important because they are critical to making you feel like you belong. Now, I've never really been the type to have a large group of friends. I'm not sure if this is because I have an off-putting face, or it's due to, maybe my standards for connection. Maybe I'm just a freak. In high school, I hung around a very small group of people, and interestingly enough, to this date, I barely keep in contact with them. And sometimes it makes me wonder, were they ever really my friend? In college, I was a little bit better with being social, and I really pushed myself into some uncomfortable environments in order to meet new people, and I think my relationships today are much stronger than my historical ones in high school. There are three types of friendships according to the Greek philosopher Aristotle, and essentially three types of affection that can unite people together. And I want to share this with you today because I think it's really interesting when I read more about it. The first kind of friendship is friendship of utility. These are friendships that you form with people mainly due to the benefits you both bring and the convenience you both offer to each other. These can be work colleagues, neighbors because maybe they help you like water the plants or watch your kids or babysit, classmates you study for in preparation for exams. It sounds a bit suspicious, to be honest, when you think about utility and using people. I thought it was a bit sus when I first read it. The more I thought about it, there's actually many friendships of utility in my life, more so than I thought. The second type of friendship is friendships of pleasure. And these relationships usually are formed under the basis of some activity that gives them pleasure. A good example is a buddy that maybe you play a sport with. You might like them as a person, but the primary force driving your attachment to the person is the activity and the pleasure, and not necessarily the person itself. Other examples include someone maybe you like going to concerts with, friends you hang out with due to similar interests and hobbies, but nothing super serious beyond that. And finally, we have friendships of virtue or friendships of the good. This is when the basis of the friendship is fundamentally driven by the people themselves and their qualities as a person. This is the hardest friendship to achieve because it can take a lot of time and energy to develop this type of relationship. Even though this is the case, it is likely one of the most important friendships to obtain in order to feel happy in your life. I want to make it clear that the first two friendships are inevitable in your life, and they're not necessarily bad. I don't want you to think that these relationships are frowned upon or useless at all. That's how life works. We meet people, we lose people, and we're not going to connect with everyone on that super deep level. Aristotle believed that friendships of utility and pleasure out of the three were the weakest because the circumstances that dictate utility and pleasure can change very quickly. If we move to a new job, lose interest in a hobby. You can lose the relationship with someone if the basis of that friendship was derived from those activities. And I think that's completely natural. But I found it really fascinating when I thought more about who in my life was a friend of virtue, because that's ultimately what I think we should look for in a friendship. I want to share some advice that I've learned in my short 24 years of life about friendship. Take what I say with a grain of salt, of course, because I'm only 24, but the first thing I want you to understand is that it's okay to lose friends in life. Like I said, you're not going to connect with everyone, and people change all the time. You're going to outgrow some people, maybe they outgrow you. There's going to be changes in the vibes and changes in energy that you have with others. People change interests over time, and like I said, this is all normal. Of course, it's not going to feel good to lose a friend, but just understand that there are some things that unfortunately are out of your control sometimes. Okay, that was a bit pessimistic, so sorry about that. But on a more positive note, I want to also offer you the advice of the value of initiation. Just like in the beginning of this video, if you don't have people reaching out to you to hang out with you or to check in on you, that doesn't necessarily mean that no one cares about you. I used to think that I had no friends in my life because no one would reach out to me. And I was always the kind of person to let people come into me. And I'm not sure if this is because, maybe I'm a bit introverted, but imagine if the whole world thought like this. No one would be communicating with each other. At the end of the day, just remember that in order for a relationship or a friendship to grow and to blossom, it takes two to tango. Don't forget to initiate conversations and communication, because it can't be one-sided all the time. And hopefully if you continue connecting and communicating well, it can lead to fulfilling friends of virtue in your life. I want to end this video by sharing with you a quote that I really like by Robin Williams. And he says, "I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is ending up with people who make you feel all alone." I talk about the art of being alone in another video right here. And in that video, I talk about the art of isolation and the art of being alone, which I also think is really important. But I also want to emphasize how valuable it is to have quality friendships and relationships in your life. I used to surround myself with people just so I could have company in my life. And I remember one particular instance that even though I was hanging with a group of people, for some reason I felt really angry and I felt really upset and unmotivated to connect and talk with them. I think friends of the good or friends of virtue are difficult to find, but I think when you find them, they will make sure that you never feel alone. And that's the greatest feeling there is. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the topic of friendship. Let me know in the comment section below if you think about friendship in the same way, and if you have a lot of friends of virtue or a lot of friends of the good. I think this is one of the most important outcomes of a friendship, and like I said, I think it's rare to find, but I'm curious if you agree or disagree. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, I'll see you guys later.